All right, everybody, welcome back to Mishaps, Magic, and Mayhem. This is where we tell true stories of women all over the world globally. And today I'm joined by my dear friend, my creative soul sister, Leanne Vermeulen. And I said it right, and I'm so excited about that. It took me forever to learn how to pronounce your name correctly.
No, not really. And you can do the really good.
Oh, I got that. Vermeulen.
Yeah.
I love it. And she is I would say the epitome of a creative. I mean, artist. You got consulting in there mixed in. You're a coach, creatives coach.
Yeah.
Who has helped me when she said one day, and I'll never forget it, she called me a shadow artist. It was it's never left me. That has never left me. I'm so happy. And I actually realized later, years later, what that meant.
Isn't that interesting?
It took me a while to kind of digest that and figure out what you were meaning by that, but you really opened up and unlocked for me. And I imagine you do this also with your other clients, is this idea that I was kind of in the shadows. I was behind the scenes. I was not stepping into the light and showing that part of myself that is an artist, right?
Right, because you thought you were an event coordinator. And I said, no, you are an event creator. You create experiences. You are an experience creator. And now, what is it now? 6, 7 years later?
Yeah,
these amazing experiences that you're creating for these women up here is mind-blowing.
It is. It's like curation with design, but you were the one that unlocked that for me first. I mean, I think there was a part of me that didn't know. I didn't consider myself an artist because I thought, oh, you have to paint, you have to draw, you have to sculpt, you have to sing, you have to dance. I mean, I had this big vision of, I was very boxed in to what artists are.
Yeah.
And so that's what I love about you. And I'm so happy to have you on the show to share your beautiful gifts and talents with us and your whole story.
Yeah.
With all of our listeners. So
sweet.
Mishaps, Magic, and Mayhem.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some of that on your journey.
Thank you. And is this did you say this is your first live podcast?
This is my first time doing it like this, I think. Yeah, I've done interviews like this, but this is the first time we've done the podcast on the couch, face to face. This is pretty awesome.
Sweet. So we're in Robbo's studio here in Morro Bay. And this is my husband's studio that he shares with me, of course. We share it together. I've got my grand piano right behind me.
I hope you'll play it for us at some point.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Maybe.
Well, yeah.
Maybe another time. We can always save it.
No. Yeah, you got it. So, so he opened this up and we put this together, how many years ago? 5 years ago, maybe? 4 years ago, something like that? Yeah, 4 years ago. And he's just, man, he's got musicians, people coming in here all the time, and it's super awesome. So that's where we are.
I'm obsessed with this whole setup. I think this is the first time I felt so professional walking in, like I was going to record for the Grammys or something. It just feels really nice to be here. So thank you to Rob and thank you to you for opening your studio for this to happen on this couch, have our couch time.
We love having people here because here amazing conversations always happen. Even when musicians are coming in, they got to knock tracks out or whatever. Because, we can have full bands in here. We have singer-songwriters in here. I think he's done podcasts before. He records podcasts in here and some voiceover work, all kinds of stuff. And then I just recorded my first radio show here yesterday.
Which we're going to get into as part of this story.
Sure.
She told me to hold off. I mean, everybody who's listening, watching, she told me to hold off because she's like, that will be part of this. I know it'll be part of this whole thing. And I want to share with people too that Leanne was actually, because this all stems from Women Making Waves, this whole podcast. And Leanne was part of our very first Women in Arts and Entertainment that we did right here in Morro Bay at the Siren.
That's nuts.
And you sang an original song that you just popped out of your brain and your heart and belted it out on stage for our entire audience. We had about 75 people that day.
It was packed.
On like a Tuesday.
It was crazy.
It was crazy.
So you know what I did? It wasn't completely original. So what I did is I did Obla Di, Obla Da.
Right.
From the Beatles.
Okay.
Obla Di,
not completely original, but the lyrics were yours.
Yes. So I wrote new lyrics about you and a couple other people. I don't even remember what I wrote, but I wrote all the lyrics about, I think, you and women making waves and all the, things that were going to go down. I don't remember, but it was, and then everybody sang along with the chorus.
Totally.
That was the whole idea, is to get people to sing, because I love a great sing along. I'm just like crazy about people singing together.
Well, apparently in Eurovision, they call it a song along.
you seen
that I don't know. It's from the movie. Have you seen the movie Eurovision?
Oh,
They
of
call
course.
it, they go, oh, it's a song along. And then everybody starts singing along and this
That's-
whole thing. And they did ABBA and they started doing Waterloo and everyone's doing
Oh,
all the
yeah.
pieces. So I think I thought it was called a song along.
Dude, when we lived in
In
the
Europe.
Netherlands, we watched Eurovision every year.
I want to go to Eurovision. It is my dream. It is literally I'm making it my life's mission.
It's wild. It's so much fun. And it's all about the counting, when everybody's actually performed and then they have the point system and all the countries weigh in. And it's like, 12 points, so 12 points,
Yeah.
or whatever. And it's they have like 12, 10, 8, 6, and then everybody's just like, your points are they gonna get? And it's nuts because it's just like such an extravaganza, over the top craziness.
Which is beautiful.
Well,
It's the ultimate. I feel like it's the epitome of self-expression. Like when I see the outfits, the costumes, the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, and
Sometimes
the voices are incredible.
Oh
These
yeah,
are very talented people.
and there's some bad people too.
Oh, not okay. Well, I wouldn't know. I've never been. I've just seen the movie, which they make it just so
Dang.
extreme.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
make it beautiful.
I don't know if the movie is more extreme than the reality. I think the reality's probably
More
even-
extreme.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they were toning it down for the movie.
It's like you can't even imagine what they come up with, but it's
I
amazing.
bet I could. I could think of something.
Yeah.
But I love that. So tell us that. That's where we
Okay.
can maybe start. Maybe
Okay.
a starting off point. You were living in the Netherlands.
Oh, that's right.
So
yeah.
that's a really cool thing. I mean, talk
Oh,
about this. This
okay.
time in the Netherlands, going to Eurovision all the time. That's not the only thing you did.
Okay, no, we didn't go, but we watched it on TV because all of Europe watched it. I mean, like gazillion viewers. So everybody's in front of their television watching Eurovision every year.
Wow.
Okay, so I grew up. It's really interesting. I remember like one of the, you have those aha moments.
Yes.
Okay, so my very first one was when I was sitting in front of the television watching the Ed Sullivan show. So we're back in 1963, I believe.
Okay.
I'm 5 years old and I'm sitting in front of the TV with my family because he's going to have the Beatles on.
What?
And I watched the Beatles and I was so just gobsmacked by what I was watching because there was just anything like that before. The British, they call it the British invasion. So it's one of the first British
Yeah.
groups that came over and were singing rock and roll and pop songs. It's just the beginning of that whole classic rock era, really. I sat there and as a kid, 5 years old, I started dreaming I was touring with the Beatles. As a kid, right? That's nuts. So I didn't realize this, but all of the songs from probably 4 or 5 years old on, any radio song, I can still sing it, all the lyrics. I was just,
Wow.
yeah. So yeah, and I felt music really, really deeply, really deeply. And
As a small child.
As
So
a
are we
very-
talking put us back in that scene? Like, are you singing in the shower kind of kid? Or was it everywhere you went? Was it tunes that just popped in? Were you creating your own stuff?
It was the connection that we have when we hear a song and we're in a sweet place. I still have those connections. I still hear songs like I remember Paperback Writer, what came out. That's probably about 67, maybe 68. Also a Beatles tune. And I remember we would vacation in Mexico, just really, really basic, kind of we stayed in a trailer park, and it was right on the beach. We're talking in the 1960s, so there's nothing fancy about this. And we had a little cantina where we would, save our money and go buy snacks or a Coke or something like that. But I saved my money for two things: horseback riding and songs in the jukebox.
See, there it is right there. You were already attracted to the music. That was your thing, the connection that you had. And horseback riding.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
No snacks for you, no Cokes. Forget it. I don't care about that stuff.
Right. So I remember Paperback Writers putting that song in, and then there was the B-side to that song that I used to listen. I mean, I was just always listening to music, but I wasn't the person always around singing. But when my mom asked me when I was 7 years old, she said, "Hey, do you want to maybe try playing the piano, taking some piano lessons with a neighbor across the street. I said, sure. So they bought me a toy piano to practice on. I was really literally a toy piano, maybe about this big. And
Is it one of the ones that sounds like ding, ding, ding,
yeah,
ding?
oh yeah, of
that kind of
course,
thing. I
yeah.
can only I can envision it in my
Totally
mind.
toy piano sound.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think within the month they bought me a real piano because it was just like they knew, my mom knew this is something that, you know, Leanne's gonna do. Of course, I'm unaware of all of this. Okay, I'm a kid. I don't know. I'm just taking my lessons. But by the time I was in fourth grade, I was doing Bach competitions, and that was the first time like I played at a grand piano. I think I was 9 years old. That thing was huge. I mean, so I went from like a regular upright to this huge grand piano.
Wow.
I felt like that thing was 10 feet wide.
Well, I imagine so. I mean, that's a lot of, and then your
Oh yeah,
hands are trying to find their ways.
little, and my hands
Yeah.
are still little, but I can do an octave and I can do
Whoa.
Nikes. Yeah, I can get there if I need to. But anyway, so music was, and then I would sit at the piano and I would just make up music. And that would be my adventures. Crazy, right? Or I would play a song that I had to learn from my book from, I thought the method that I was following is called John Thompson. I started doing a whole bunch of stuff. That would just take me into another place. That's what music did for me.
There it
And
is,
then
yeah.
my parents play, and my mother's really musical. She played all kinds of woodwind instruments and ukulele because they're from the 50s.
Oh, I love the ukulele.
So yeah, my mom and dad, they have probably, they have like a uke collection, like Robbie has a guitar collection. They just have all these ukes they bought in Hawaii and all different kinds because there's baritone and
Right,
tenor
there's
and-
so many
yeah,
different
right.
types.
So my dad, he has uke books. And he would set up a song and go, okay, Leanne, you want to play with me? I go, sure. So I'd sit down, he goes, okay, now this is what you do. So we used to call it boom chuck. Boom chuck, boom chuck, boom chuck, boom chuck. That's how I
That's
would
what you were doing on the piano, and then he had the uke out.
and then he would, strum on the uke because it was
Oh.
a or whatever. So I would see I could read notes, of course, and then I would see the lyric, and then above were the chord symbols for, guitar tab, or in this case, uke tab symbols. There'd be a chord like C7 augmented fifth. What the heck? So I'd take the C, I'd go C, D, E, that's a third, F, G, that's a fifth, A, B, that's a seventh, but then flatten it, B flat, and the ninth is the D. And then I would figure out that chord. And my dad said, just do that. And he, it was like, ain't she sweet? I see you walking down and I'll,
Yeah, trying to get it,
just
trying to bang out the keys.
trying to bang it out. So
Wow.
I learned without knowing I was learning chord chart reading, I was learning sight reading, I was learning, how to accompany a vocal. And I was doing that with my dad.
That's where it begins.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that in the home. That's where things start, right? You get this, it's modeling. So whatever your parents are doing and they're kind of into.
Yeah.
And then there's people that have told, and this could be true, it sounds like for your family too, is that the modeling is you're bringing your kids into your lifestyle, like your things that you love.
Oh yeah.
And then, I mean, yeah, everyone's going to naturally find their own way, their own path.
Yeah.
But if you're showing them this cool thing, what a great upbringing, what a great opportunity to learn all these skills.
Yeah.
And they're transferable skills.
Oh yeah. And
these are all things that are in your life, I'm sure, have helped with coaching, with all the things you've been doing since this experience with your dad.
Yeah. And it's funny, now that we're talking about it, that kind of turned into, as I entered into junior high, now, people are asking me to accompany them for, like, my first gig ever was my piano teacher's son. This was another piano teacher. He got married, so I got to play for his wedding.
Oh, wow.
That's my first gig and his reception.
That's so cool. That was your first gig.
Yeah.
How did you feel going into that? I mean, I know it's a familiar person, right? They're asking you and you're going to the wedding. But what was the feeling? Do you remember?
Just doing it. Yeah, it's fun. doing it.
So you gotta, like, that was a great opportunity
Yeah.
to not have the
Yeah.
pressure, right? Oh, I'm just doing it for fun.
Yeah.
I'm helping out a friend.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, so I just started, playing music for the junior high musicals, and then in the high school for choirs and accompaniments, and then I started doing songwriting and with a girlfriend, she could play guitar.
Yeah.
So we, play these really emo, write these emo songs.
Feel like we're in a different area.
As you
We're
do.
moving out of the ukulele.
Oh yeah. But it was the interesting thing is that in our family, any kind of music was cool. So we had stuff from like, soul and musicals and Barbra Streisand and the crooners,
Love.
but also classical music. So my mom would crank up the stereo. My sister and I would dance to Tchaikovsky. We'd be going at it because that was fun. It didn't matter.
I
what
love
kind
that
of
they
music.
were so open.
I think they're music lovers.
But what a cool thing. Not everybody is like that. They usually have a certain genre of
Yeah.
music that they love and that's it.
Yeah.
And it's so, I mean, even in you saw Disney Pixar's Coco, maybe they're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
no
yeah.
music. Like the family doesn't want music. So there's those type of families.
We couldn't sing at the table.
Oh, okay. See, there was some boundaries. There were some boundaries.
Yeah.
They're like, no dancing on the table, no singing, but you can, every type of music is valued here.
And they loved,
valuable.
and of course my parents were young, they had us in their 20s. So they were totally into pop music,
So cool.
Yeah, I remember my mom we'd all pile in, 4 kids, pile into the station wagon. And before we get out, grab a grocery cart to go into the Stater Brothers, she'd go, oh, kids, hang on. And she would crank up the radio. This is a new song from the Beatles. Or this song from the Rolling Stones. Have you heard this from the Beach Boys?
I love the Beach Boys.
Of course.
I mean, that's where my love and our family music era goes. And Michael Jackson, Beach Boys. I mean, that was kind of my younger years. So when you say Beach Boys, I'm going, all right, I can go there.
Oh yeah. I remember, like listening to the Supremes, that's a girl group from the 60s.
Was that Diana Ross?
Absolutely.
Was Diana Ross the leader of the Supremes? I thought
singer.
so. I was trying to remember. There's all the, you have all of them, Temptations. You have all these names and like, who is what?
Yeah, all the
Diana Ross was the Supremes.
Yeah, Motown groups. But those songs were so evocative. They were, I mean, it was really an emotional connection. Even if they were singing about stuff that I wasn't familiar with.
Yeah.
So that's how I grew up.
You grew up with that, but you keep saying that word emotion and connection when you talk about music. So how does that translate now into your adult life? In terms of from the childhood, has that stayed with you all along? Was there ever a period where it was like no music? I didn't have music in my life, or I desired to have music in my life. Maybe it fell off, because that happens sometimes. But I think for you, it may not. I'm just curious about that.
Yeah. When I went into high school, that's when I started playing in bands and buying my equipment and playing in bands, and then toured in Europe with Robbie, and then, got married and still had music, because now I've been writing songs, songwriter, and writing for other people and playing in different bands. And I mean, everything from church worship music to funk music to
Wow.
You name it, we have played it all. So I don't think there's ever been a time when I haven't been connected to music. I still love discovering new bands.
Yeah.
New music.
What is music? What does music do, you think, for everyone? Like, is it? What is it for you? Because you've seen all the things. You're not limiting yourself. What I'm loving about this conversation, I'm gathering, what I'm extracting on this end, listening, is that this is part of your life. Obviously, the emotional connection is there, but you also have such an openness to it because you never had a limitation or a restriction of this is the only genre, this is only what I like, or allowing other people to influence that for you. It was always available and open to discover. So how do you feel like that? What does that do for people? Like, now that you've seen it all, done it all, sang it all, written a lot of things for people, worked with all of these artists, what does that do for you? Like, what do you feel like you see as is there a common bond around music?
Yeah, and it's actually being scientifically, you know, not discovered, but I guess expanded. You know, people are in the scientific world, they're starting to quantify, I guess, what we've already know is that music brings us together. Do you know that even in concerts, that people's hearts will start beating
At
to
the
the
same
beat?
rhythm?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Mhm.
Wow.
That's why we love to clap
Because we all
together.
have a,
We have all the, yeah, things just start going, moving in sync. That's why when
Amazing.
we go to concerts, and you've just been to one recently,
yes.
I just been to a great one recently too. Just singing my guts out. It's such a wonderful, beautiful release to sing, and singing is also just one of these things that we do that's so healing. It doesn't matter what kind of music you're singing. Um, and I've experienced that with choirs and huge arenas and all kinds of stuff where
Yeah.
people are singing songs together.
Yeah, now we're even, I mean, we're looking, like you said, generationally, you're looking at other music, you like discovering new music. So there's always going to be some up and coming artists. There's always going to be some new sound that's made.
Mm-hmm.
There's fusion. I mean, there's always going to be something
Oh yeah,
that is created as an iteration of something else. And I think it's really beautiful.
right.
And I don't know, what are you into right now? What is
Ooh,
getting you all like goosebumps and getting you excited and giddy about,
right.
I mean, besides your own music, because I'm sure that also makes you brings a lot of joy to you, but what else?
Yeah. So there's a couple bands from the last few years, and they've been around for a while, but um I have a tendency to like kind of focus in on one thing and ignore all the rest of the music, and then I have to go and play catch up and discover new stuff. You know, I love bands like War on Drugs. They're like a psychedelic rock band that I totally love. But I also love like indie soul, you know, soul stuff. I love Krungbin. I
See, I
love
don't even know what that is. This is what I mean.
Khruangbin.
You're giving us all of this stuff. We don't even know what it is.
Oh, Krungbin. They do like this groovy, also kind of psychedelic, surfy instrumental music.
Okay.
They're amazing. Um, so for my radio show, I recorded my first radio show yesterday for local radio.
And we gotta go back to how this all occurred.
All right.
That was part of your initial thing at the
Yeah.
beginning. You're like, I gotta talk about
Yeah,
this on the
anyway,
show.
so yeah. But so my radio show, let's just take it from there. I was asked to do a radio show. I said, yes, I now have the time for it. Let's do it. They basically gave me carte blanche to do whatever I want and whatever music I want. And I said, well, you know, wherever we go, we love to uplift musicians, local
Mhm.
musicians. We, you know, we write for them, we record them, we coach them, we, you know, do whatever we can. You know, Robbie takes people's music and they come in with a guitar and a vocal, and he, you know, turns them into a whole production, right? That's what he does as a producer. And so for this radio show, I said, I want to elevate local bands, local musicians, local singers, songwriters, because we have so much talent around
We
here.
do.
Oh yeah. So these guys, Proxima Parada, do you know them?
I've heard of them, but I haven't really had enough chance to like really hear their music.
Yeah, well
I know who they are.
well, they only have over 950,000, right? Subscribers to their Spotify channel.
950,000.
Over. We're gonna hit
Wow.
1 million for that.
Wow.
Yeah, they just put out a new record. Anyway, so they're local guys. They high school, no, Cal Poly, met each other, started a band.
Amazing.
You know, 10 years later, they're still working at it. You know, they're just doing their thing. Some TikTok guy discovers one of their songs, puts it on his TikTok, throws a TikTok out.
And
they're
that's
using
it.
And then they go and they blow up. They have a new record out that just came out in September. But I thought, you know what? I didn't know their music that well, but these guys were just so cool. I just loved their vibe. So that's another thing. As a musician or an artist, you have a really high intuitive ability.
Mhm.
I just know where people are coming from, and they just had such a very, very
Why do you
high.
think that is, Leanne? I'm actually curious about that
Yeah.
because now that, we're talking about being a creative and an artist, like, why do you think that is? I mean, for you specifically, but also if you have any other information of why you think that is, that there's this high
Mhm,
intuitive connection going on, that you see people differently and things
mhm,
differently.
mhm. It's because it's emotional. It's the emotions. It's feelings and emotions. The vibe.
Yeah, everyone says high vibe, or you hear all these terms thrown out,
Yeah.
like the vibration, the frequency.
Exactly.
This person's on my level. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it, I hear
Yeah.
all the different terms.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious,
Sorry.
excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm curious what that means when people are saying vibration, frequency. I mean, if you're talking about heartbeats
Yeah.
in unison
Mhm.
at a concert or some event
Mhm.
like that where there's music being played, then what? And I just recently found out the cello has the same resonance as the human voice.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Same
That
range.
just came up. That just came up in recent years. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering what
Yeah.
is that then? What is that for us
Well,
to know?
it's when you, I believe that it's when you kind of shut off the cognitive thinking,
Okay.
like why, what, how, blah, blah. No, you're just feeling. You're in touch.
You're staring into someone's eyes and
Yeah, it's like another
Yeah.
sense.
Wow. It is another
It is
sense.
another
I mean, they
sense.
say sixth sense, but
Yeah,
I often am thinking
exactly what
people
it
think
is.
about it more like mediumship. They're thinking of like, oh, I communicate with
but
another realm.
we all do. We communicate with each other's realms through our intuition, through our emotions and feelings. And that's why music is so powerful, because it gathers everybody together. Nobody's thinking, oh, this is a great song because it's in the key of D and it starts on the F sharp, which is that nobody thinks that. Oh, listen to that drummer. He's so cool. Wow, I love the way his kick drum sounds. Nobody's thinking
Let's
that.
get that snare and the hi-hat.
Yeah, right. Ooh, what kind of guitar is he playing?
His
Okay,
kick drum.
no, let me edit that. Musicians sit in an audience and think all this stuff. That's why they're terrible. They are terrible.
They're analyzing. They're analyzing all the
audience
music.
members. They want to, they're either sitting there analyzing everything or they just want to be up on stage.
Okay. Well, that sounds a little bit like there's some ego stuff involved.
No, being up on stage just
No, I mean, there's some, are there with artists? Like, do you see a lot of that? Or like they're battling with the ego? And I'm not saying ego as an arrogant thing.
Mhm.
I'm talking about ego more like we have to battle, I think, with people say death of an ego,
Yeah,
or there's a lot of things that you've got to work through with your ego,
Right.
your own ego. So what do you see with that when you're saying they want to be up on stage? Is it just because they desire to have that validation, have an audience? They like to just be playing and showing what they do.
all of that.
I mean, I'm
Yes,
curious.
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of different
A, C, D, E, yes. F through Z, yes. All of that.
F through Z.
Yes.
All the letters.
Yes, we
All the
want
letters.
all the letters because, yeah, and I'm sure there's like, "Ah, dang it, man, I want to be in that band. Or, ah, shit, these guys are great. But you're also totally so enjoying what they're bringing that you want to be part of it. And that's why
Oh.
sing-alongs are so powerful, because that's when the band has the audience be part of the band.
That's it. So the person almost like they're a leader, if they're, and everyone down in the audience is going. I've always loved at concerts when the artist communicates with the audience. Like, I have seen some pretty amazing artists stop the show and just start getting down real with people, hugging people,
Mhm.
talking to people all
Mhm.
over, looking at signs.
Yeah.
And I'm going, that is such a cool thing
Oh, yeah.
to have them really connect with people. And that's where I see that buy-in, that almost like that draw to, I want to be with, we're here, we're doing this thing in this space.
Yeah. And you have to be, that's on an intuitive level.
That's on an intuitive level. So that just doesn't see, because I think sometimes I feel like it's not part of the show. Like they might have just been like, stop the show.
Well, you were talking about that you recently saw Pink, right?
I did.
Which she is one of my heroes.
She's one of mine too.
Yeah,
if you're listening, Pink, we're coming for you. We both want to meet you. We want you involved.
I heard I heard she lives in this area. She has a house in this area.
She lives very close in this area. Yeah, she's about an hour or so away from us.
Exactly. I've heard.
Yeah.
I think I saw a video of her doing karaoke in a bar.
Oh, probably.
Up in North
I know
County.
people that have seen her all over Los Olivos and all over the area. They've seen
Yeah.
her everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah. At grocery stores,
closer,
everywhere.
closer than Los Olivos.
Even closer.
Yeah, Paso Robles. Mhm.
Cool. That was probably Pine Street. The karaoke was at Pine Street Bar then.
I don't know.
I was just there on Sunday night.
Well, there you go.
There you go. I could have run into her. We would have had a moment.
Isn't that so cool that she does that?
Yeah,
Real
because she's a
people.
real person and she's
Exactly.
allowing herself to be authentically real and not being this, I'm pink, I'm this, I'm that. Her winery, Two Wolves Wine, that's another thing, you know, the wolf you feed, that's another thing I think with the artists. I was
Yeah.
asking that about that ego part, because it's like really it's the darkness and the light, it's the one you feed
Yeah.
is the one that grows, right?
That's right. Yep,
So
yep, yep.
that's kind of, I think it's
Mhm.
a Native American legend or
Yeah.
folklore. I'm
Yeah.
not quite sure,
Mhm.
but that was where I went.
It could be Inuit, actually.
Could be.
Mhm.
I haven't really looked it up, but I know that that was the idea of it. That's the
Right.
premise of it, is that you feed whatever one you're feeding, that's what's gonna grow, that's what's
Yeah.
gonna flourish. And so I'm curious, as your journey, as this, you know, you've got records out. I've been to your release party, so
Oh,
I
thank you,
know,
yeah.
I know
Thanks for showing
what
up.
you do. It was amazing.
Thank you.
I was blown away by the outpouring of love and support that you got for
Yeah.
that. And I was in a good way. I went, yeah, this is deserved. I mean, this is what artists
Yeah.
deserve.
And I didn't even play live.
That's right. You didn't.
No, because I'm like, why would I play live at my own party? I don't want to be sitting behind a piano going la la la. Like, listen to that at home.
No, you just wanted to enjoy.
I did.
You were celebrating you. You were celebrating the
I guess
accomplishment,
so. Yeah.
which is again a model.
Yeah.
So it's giving yourself, you gave yourself permission that gives us permission.
Yeah.
Because everyone there, I think, felt that
Yeah.
that connection to you,
Yeah.
that, whoa, not only did she do something super out of this world, like did this thing that she's been wanting to do
Mhm.
and went ahead and did it and said yes to herself, then you go ahead and you celebrate
Yeah.
when it actually happens.
Yeah.
Instead of just keeping it to yourself. Okay, everybody, let's get the album
Mhm.
out, put it on social media,
Yeah.
whatever. It was like, no, let's have a
Yeah.
party.
Yeah. And talking about that, the wolves, right?
Yeah.
So, music is, love, peace, joy, and all this great, awesome stuff. But I'll tell you, as a musician too, as an artist, you go through a lot of dark periods. I mean, talk about the shadow self. It's the jealous self. It's the compare yourself, which also
Yeah.
sends you down a really deep, dark space. I always say to compare is to despair. But we
I
always
like that.
Well, we do it. We could either we're comparing ourselves, somebody's above us, which is not good, or somebody's below us. We can't reach it. We have to be here so we can hold hands, right? But putting somebody way
Yeah.
above us or way below us. So
Extremes. Those
That's
are the
it.
extremes.
and
Get
I've
in the
done
middle
both.
here. Be
Oh,
Switzerland.
listen
Be
to that.
neutral. Let's all be Switzerland.
I've been that person who's been like super critical. I've been that person who's been super intimidated or intimidated or unsure of myself. I've been in situations where I've had to, perform or play where I've not felt good. There's all kinds of things. I
That
mean,
you go
that's
through.
all part of it. It's not all
Glamorous.
light, bright, and
Yeah.
but here's the thing: when I am at a concert and the musician in me has decided to ignore all the things like the lighting or the sound, or why is the amp turned up, and why can't the blah blah turn that down, and why is just all of that stuff that musicians do, which is really, you never want to go to a concert with a musician. They're just going to sit there and analyze everything. But when I can get myself out of that and just totally throw myself into a concert, what they're bringing, I'm like I'm just eating what they're putting out, serving. It's the best ever. It's like I've had a 2-week vacation. That's what it does.
That's what it does. See, I've never heard it described that way. I've had a 2-week vacation.
Oh yeah, one night. I bet you felt that after you saw Pink.
I actually did. It wasn't just Pink though. See, that was the thing, is I
All
was
right.
telling you, it was
All
like
right.
this,
Tell us who else
it was
came
like
out.
this massive total. Some of it was known, some was unknown, but I'll share because it's exactly what you've been describing about your journey
Yeah.
and what you've seen along the way. It was like I went for Pink and Dallas Green. So they're doing this thing called You and Me tour.
Yes.
And they're coming
Yes,
up with
yes,
their
yes.
new, this is more what I think is her heart, her Spiorg
Yeah.
note, so to speak, her
Yeah.
heart space, right?
Yeah.
She's at a place where you can feel that there was this eclectic, I mean, it was crazy energy between those two on stage,
Mhm.
in terms of how they vibe off of each other. But I think we were shocked because Prince Harry came out.
Yeah, was it, we're on
And
Santa
did,
Barbara?
you know,
Were you in
yeah, it
Santa
was
Barbara?
it was at Kevin Costner's ranch in Carpinteria.
Well, la-di-da.
Prince Harry just pops on stage and introduces some of the artists. They
Okay.
had Joe Bonamassa
Yeah.
there, which was
Mhm.
amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
guitar playing was next level.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Bonamassa. They had Kenny Loggins came out and did Danger Zone and Footloose. We were all begging for it. Well, he did a bunch of other stuff, and everyone's like, please play Danger Zone. Like you could just feel it from the audience, like, please. And when it came out, he grabbed a new guitar, and everyone's like, it's happening.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Who else was out there? Yeah, Kenny Loggins was out there. I'm forgetting some people. I'm totally butchering it. It was the Alan Parsons Project.
Yeah. See, his recording studio is in that area.
And I mean, there was like a slew of others, but those were like the highlights for me. And then I think what really got me going was in all the celebrities. It was like Jeff Bridges came out and introduced somebody.
Yeah.
Kevin Costner's band. I didn't realize Kevin Costner had a band.
Jeff Bridges too, singer.
Played, and I've seen Jeff Bridges at Presqu'île.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Orchid.
exactly, yeah.
So I know Jeff Bridges had a band, or I knew that. But then it was like Cameron Diaz and Zoe Saldana just show up on stage. And they're like, hey, everybody, isn't this fun hanging out in Kevin's backyard? And we're all going,
Yeah.
what is happening right now?
Yeah.
So yeah, I felt that. And I think that when I saw those songs, it was for every generation. They touched on, they had just the right mix of people.
Mhm.
They just knew their audience. The organizers knew their audience. It was a fundraiser for Santa Barbara's first responders.
Oh, so
It was a really intimate concert. So
Mhm.
there's only a few thousand people there. It was
Yeah.
not a big
Yeah.
to do. And that was the coolest part. It was
Yeah.
like people were meeting people.
Mhm.
Everybody was singing the songs they love. It was just really, it was what you said. I bet all of our heartbeats were in unison
Oh, yeah.
doing
absolutely.
that, singing all those songs. Because a lot of us know them, even though I may not have grown up with like Kenny Loggins as my, whatever is my person.
Mhm.
Of course I know Danger Zone and Footloose and all. I mean,
Mhm.
it's like
Yeah.
we hear those in TV shows, movies, so you
Yeah.
recognize the song.
Mhm.
That's
It's just
pretty
cool to
awesome.
be together and
But I
such a
felt what
good
you were
time.
saying. It's that energy and that movement
Mm-hmm.
of everybody kind of going, what next? Like, what are you giving us? And you're
Right.
just, and again, me not being an actual musician, I was just enjoying
yeah.
the atmosphere and the whole thing that was being produced.
Yeah. I have that with any kind of artistic expression that I get really emotional. I can connect with it. Even it's just visual art.
Yeah.
Like I'm a museum freak. So no matter where I go in the world, I'm hitting the museums.
What's your favorite?
Oh,
Do you have a favorite? I mean, you've been a lot of places because you lived in Europe, so you've
I'm
got to
telling
have
you,
you've hit up all the big ones.
Amsterdam and New York.
Is it the Rijksmuseum?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, goed.
I've been there.
Rijksmuseum. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And the Rijksmuseum, you know who it's named after, right?
No, tell me.
So Rembrandt van Rijn. No, it's Rembrandt van Rijn. No, Rijksmuseum means it's the. What is the? I gotta
You gotta get your.
I gotta get my
your
Dutch.
language. Get your Dutch back on.
Hey, my Dutchman. Rijksmuseum. What do we call that? National Museum, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Sorry.
National
I was thinking of Rembrandt van Rijn. So actually, Rembrandt.
Yeah. Oh well, I mean,
That's his first
Rembrandt?
name, Rembrandt,
Rembrandt.
and his last name
Van
is
Rijn.
Van Rijn.
Van
And the
Rijn.
Rijn, and the Rijn is the river, the Rhine River.
Okay.
So he's Rembrandt from the
From
Rhine.
the Rhine. Whoa.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Little mix up.
No,
Yeah,
but that's amazing.
Museums and the contemporary art and all of the museums in Amsterdam, especially the Van Gogh Museum, which is Van Gogh. Van Gogh.
Oh, see, Van Gogh.
Yeah, it's G-O-G-H, and that's
Is Gogh.
and yeah.
Is there a little bit of a? No, I'm getting
Yeah, guttural. Yeah.
I'm getting a guttural vibe
Yeah,
here. Okay,
yeah.
so facho,
Yeah, Van Gogh.
facho.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
I like
Vincent,
it.
Vincent van Gogh. Yeah.
Vincent van Gogh. So we
Yeah.
say it completely, we're just completely butchering this name.
Van
We're saying
Gogh.
Van Gogh,
I hear Van Gogh. No,
Van Gogh, that comes out.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember spending 4 days in Amsterdam and I went to the Anne Frank house.
Yeah.
And did all that
Mhm.
and that red light. I mean, all that stuff. I did all the things.
Yeah.
All the touristy things.
Yeah.
But it was incredible.
I visited Rembrandt's home that he had his atelier, his
Yeah. Is that a studio for
yes,
for
that's an
clothing?
artist. No, an
It's just
atelier.
your art studio.
It's artist studios.
Okay, I always felt like they say it a lot in fashion.
Yeah,
They
that's
say
right.
atelier,
Mhm.
and I thought it was more of a fashion house, but I guess it's your
It is. It's a
Okay.
It's a creative.
it's your creative space.
space, right? So it was his home and his atelier, and the place where he taught his students.
Wow.
And it's like a 4-story, very narrow house up, in downtown, right in the city center of Amsterdam. It was fascinating because you knew he lived there, and there was
That is being in that space, the energy
Yeah.
you must have felt that too,
Oh,
being
absolutely.
emotional. You're emotionally connected to art and to artists.
yeah.
I mean, that's
So-
what I mean. I
So
feel
not
that.
only music, but also of course, films, movies,
Mhm.
all of that takes me out. And and musical theater. So I have a little sister. She's a year and a half younger than me. So I kind of went into rock and roll, and she went into musical theater.
Okay.
So here's the thing that I realized. You realize all of this stuff later. We used to share a room, and we had a little, what they would call a little pickup, a little record player,
Okay.
little record
Yeah.
player it had a little, you plug it in. It had a cover, a lid. You'd open that up, and there's your turntable. Put the needle on. You know what I mean, right?
So let me make the noise. Yeah, that brings me to it. That's the anchor point right there. When you just go,
Yeah.
I'm totally with you on
So
this.
2 records that we listened to like nonstop. One was a Disney record, with like Mary Poppins and
Well, that's what I grew up on, is
Yeah.
musicals.
yeah.
Those kind.
Oh, so
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
oh yeah. So
That's my
that
jam.
record and Mamas and the Papas.
The Mamas and the Papas.
So that was like my jam, and the other thing was her jam. And now, of course, as adults, we listen to all kinds of music. But she's a Broadway musical singer, actor, dancer. So as we got older and she started doing shows in New York, I lived in Amsterdam, so I
Mhm.
would fly over to see her shows and other shows. And that's another setting that I find myself in, where when it's good, you just lose yourself. And
You
I
lose
remember
yourself in
I
it.
remember her saying
Wow.
that's why musical theater is so powerful, because it takes people out of their everyday lives. You don't have a body anymore. You're just, you're not,
Oh,
you don't have a body anymore. You're just in someone else's story. And that can also be very, very powerful. And even with artists that, like you were saying, Kenny Loggins wasn't your jam, but you could
Yeah,
still
I
feel,
still
yeah,
felt
you're
it.
like, this is awesome.
plus it was live. I think that made a
Oh, yeah.
difference too. I mean, if I would have seen him on a video or heard it on
Oh,
the
sure.
radio or something, I would be like, yeah, that's cool. I could rock out to that. But this was just that, you get all the lights.
Absolutely.
Like you said, it touches on all the
Yeah.
senses.
So I was coaching in the Netherlands. I coached a lot of people with their creative endeavors. So
Mhm.
people who wanted either just to start being creative, or they wanted their creative business to, go to the next level or whatever. So I had a client, and she had just was a brand new widow. So her husband died suddenly, left her with 3 children, grade school. And of course, very, very, it was devastating. And she's a musician, she's a singer, and she started writing songs because she had a year in the Netherlands. You can have a year to mourn.
Really?
Yes. So she worked for a
What are we
company.
doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
That's a whole nother conversation.
No, that's a whole nother conversation, but That is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. So she used that time to explore her new life, figure out what she was going to do. And she started writing songs. She had always been a singer. She had actually gone to the high school of what's it called? The high school of arts, of performing arts in New York.
In New York,
The
yeah.
Fame School.
Yeah.
She went to that school. So she grew up also with a group that did a bunch of stuff in New York City before she also moved to the Netherlands. So she's American. And so she asked me to help her with her songwriting, get her songs together and everything. And she ended up making an album. She ended up performing, releasing that album. And she ended up she in a band. She's now in a Steely Dan tribute band called Steely Fan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it.
And she's a complete powerhouse. So her daughters, Katy Perry was coming to Amsterdam, and she said, "Leanne, I have an extra ticket. Would you like to go?" And it's funny because this is at least 8 to 10 years ago. Charlie XCX opened for her, and she's of course blown up with Brat Summer. Yeah,
totally.
but she opened for Katy Perry, and Charlie XCX, I don't believe any of that concert was live. I believe it was just all taped because it sounded like it. She might have been singing with her own vocal. I'm not sure, which a lot of singers do nowadays, but it didn't really mean anything to me at all. So I was just kind of walking around and looking around, and it's a big kind of arena situation. So then Katy Perry starts, and we're kind of up in nosebleed seats. And I'm sitting there next to her daughters, and then she's sitting over there, and I'm just kind of waiting for it to come, and then the music drops, and Roar starts.
Oh, well,
And I start crying. I start
that's
bawling.
a song, though.
I am bawling.
And you know
like
what? It sounds like your toy piano.
It does.
That beginning, I'm just thinking about the beginning of that song. Maybe there's some there was a trigger of it in a good way, like a good, nice thing that you were like, oh, take me back.
See, I'm not like a Katy Perry fan,
right?
I was just like, I know she's amazing, but that wasn't my jam. But what she was bringing when she came out, wow, an energy.
Was it more of the show for you, like how she performed? And what she was doing, or was it like
no, it was all of the things.
All of it. She had all the elements.
Because she also did a part in her show where she came out just with her guitar player and sang. So yeah, really beautiful. And she was a worship singer too. So
I do know that.
So she was into all of that, and we were into all of that too.
We call them the gospel girls. Like all those gospel girls have some vocals.
Oh yeah,
like Whitney Houston, right? And I think Beyonce too, maybe
everybody learns how to sing in church. Oh yeah,
not everybody.
Well, that's true, but
a lot of people do.
Yeah, a lot of our Black artists obviously they're singing in church because they're singing in church, and they're it's encouraged to express yourself. It's self-expression is divine liberation. That's what it is. It is. Yeah. So our kids grow up in church too, and they're also musicians, performers. They're so at home on the stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is amazing. I'm just loving getting to be here with you in person and do this.
Thank you.
This is really nice.
Yeah. So I'm starting this radio program now, and I'm playing songs of local artists, and it allows me to do deep dives. And do research that when I was working full-time, I didn't have time for. And here's the thing. I lose myself in that too when I'm finding out about other people's music and what they're doing and what they're, so there's, these great local artists, and like, oh, that's cool. Oh, that's really cool. So I play them in my show, and I talk about them, and I look, oh, when are they going to be playing? See, that's my way that I can support them without being there. Yeah. And then other artists around here are saying like, hey, Leanne, can you help me? Because I'm dealing with that and that and that. And then, I help them with coaching or with consulting, consult too. So I think, okay, I can connect you with them and we're gonna do this and haven't thought about that. And yeah, I
Yeah.
just love that. I love to do that too.
And but what
It's
I'm
like
hearing,
that.
you're saying space, when you're talking about even this woman you described, the widow
Mhm.
who got that year off. I
Mhm.
mean, you now have time to
Yeah.
do these things that you love, right?
Yeah.
It's space. And I think for creatives, isn't that important to have space
It's everything.
so that you can have that ability to work on your craft or develop who you are?
Oh yeah, like Albert Einstein, or one of the greatest thinkers of our times. I just remember a quote being, my work is like staring into space. 6 hours a day thinking,
6 hours a day.
just thinking, because a lot of it is internal. You don't just, when you're creating, and this is the thing, this is why I think that creative people are sensitive to others, and we have very high level of intuition and intuitive abilities, to the point where people are like, are you a psychic? I'm like, no, I've just been around, I can feel you. I think part of that is we have to have that space and that quiet to be able to create from it. So I'm really looking forward to the more time that I have to not only do things like a radio show, and I play tracks for Rob's clients, and play piano or whirly or whatever, keyboards and stuff, vocal or whatever that they need. It gives me more time also to explore my own creativity again.
Yes, there it is. That's the mic drop moment right there, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Thank you so much, Leanne, for being on the show
You're
and
welcome.
for just giving us this little peek, because I know it goes, once you start peeling back the layers, it goes on and on.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you so much, your friendship, your love and compassion, your artistry. I mean, we definitely have that connection. And I can't wait to have you back. I think we need to do another episode and talk a little bit more about a part 2 of where this radio show is going, what's next, because we're always evolving.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And you know what? You bought one of my paintings.
Yes, I did.
That was
I
really,
am the proud owner.
yeah. And I'm taking lessons. So it never stops
It'll
learning.
never stop.
Yeah, I'm taking somebody in Cambria. Patrick Dennis, the guy's amazing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Shout out to Patrick Dennis.
Oh
So
yeah.
how can we find you? If people are listening to the show and once we let this air, how
Mhm.
can people find you if anything in this conversation resonated with them, which I'm guaranteeing there's going to be a lot that they got from it.
Mhm.
How can people connect with you, find you, talk to you, reach out?
Okay, so I am on Instagram. So just Leanne Vermeulen. That's Vermeulen. Yeah, Vermeulen. I'm getting a business together called Sagely, Sagelee. But I'm working on that right now. So people, if they look that up, they won't be finding anything yet. But I do have an email, which is lee@sageleeco.com. I'll have a Facebook page up for the radio show. So I'm just kind of now getting all of those connections together. So I would say they need to hit you up and you will connect me with them.
I will do it. I would
Yeah.
be overjoyed and honored.
Thank
I
you
will
so
do it.
much. Yeah, I'll have all of my things, all of my socials up and running before the end of the year.
Oh, well, then it's gonna happen. We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
We'll make sure you get connected either way.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being on Mishaps, Magic, and Mayhem. And until
Yes.
next time, we'll continue
Sweet.
sharing more of your story.
Thank you.